if we are going to truly make America great again, it is going to take a complete and total culture shift. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the JS Show. Got another action-packed episode for you. This one, it's gonna be pretty deep, pretty hard hitting. I'll just go ahead and get into it. So, last week I actually talked about new segments in my show. I had introduced the 4. I'm going to introduce a 5th, because I really feel the push to really talk about that. I know initially I wasn't really going to get to politics, just because I was worried about what people would think, how it would affect my business, my image. But really, this is who I am, and I don't need to worry about that, because ultimately the sake of me, my family, my community, my state, my nation is so much more worth it than my identity. Stuff that I'll probably end up talking about could potentially end up getting me canceled, which is really, it sucks that that's the world that we live in, but it needs to be said. And the irony of it is, today we're going to be talking about cancel culture. So with that being said, the 5th segment that I will be adding into the show is going to be called The More You Know. There's a meme. If I can get it edited in, you'll see it edited in. But if not, just picture The More You Know meme going across the screen and we'll be good there. But I really don't want to talk anymore about just useless stuff. I want to get into this. I am doing the 75 Hard program and implementing the Live Hard program into my life. And the creator of that is, of course, Andy Frisella. Big entrepreneur. He's had a huge podcast. I believe it was number 1 for like 6 or 7 years in a row. And he's kind of gotten to the point now where he is exposing all this stuff going on in our nation and around the world. And it's really, it's truly, it is very scary, because I'm young and I do plan on having kids one day, and to know that the great America that even I knew it was greater even before I came to this earth, but the America that I originally knew and the America that I fell in love with may not be there for my kids, that scares me to death. And I can't stay silent about it anymore, and I got to do my part. That's all I can do. That's all you can do, is doing your part, but you have to speak up. You can't be afraid of what people are going to think of you when you do speak up. So I kind of got this idea from Andy's show, and he actually talked about this. I think it was just a little short clip. I don't think he actually did a full. He may have done an episode on it. I don't know. You may or may not know. You probably do. Recently, both Target and Bud Light, those are the 2 big ones I can think of, basically experienced some form of cancel culture. Because initially, so cancel culture, you've been under a rock for the last few years. The pendulum swung one way, which was left. It swung all the way to the left. If you talked about anything that didn't go with what mainstream media was saying, you were a racist, you were just seen as a terrible person, and you got canceled for it. But now it's starting to swing back, and a lot of these left businesses are starting to feel the heat from it. Bud Light's not even, Anheuser-Busch is not a left company. They're probably one of the most patriotic companies in the world. I don't drink beer. I don't drink alcohol in general. But even I know that Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, Bud Light, those are like staples of the nation. But they're experiencing that same type of cancel culture. If you aren't familiar with cancel culture, what cancel culture is, it's basically you as a business, as an individual, yeah, as either one of those, as a single entity or a group, whatever, you do something, you even say something, and maybe you even just think something, and somebody knows about it, and they think that it is worth canceling you over, especially, well, it doesn't matter which side you're on. Both sides are getting canceled. And it's ironic and it's sad to see, but it's happening. But what cancel culture is you do something that a group of people don't agree with, and they try to remove you pretty much from the face of digital media. Right now, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business, that's your lifeline is digital media. And it's possible that you don't need digital media. It just really helps it's a huge amplifier in the game of business. But what happens is they remove you from all that. There's a guy a lot of people know, a lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him. I think his message is great. It's Andrew Tate. His name is Andrew Tate. He got deplatformed, he got canceled, everything, and they're still going after him like crazy. But what happened with Target, what happened was they were, I think that Target actually released a line of clothing that they said wasn't for kids, but yeah, we know how that goes. There were two things. One was some Satanist type clothing brand, which was scary as crap. And then another thing was a LGBTQ plus 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. It was a bathing suit that was tuck friendly. Yeah. And people had huge backlash over that. And Target, I can't remember how big of a drop in the stocks it was, but they lost billions of dollars in just a few days. Same thing happened with Bud Light. Bud Light, supposedly, it didn't come from the top down. That's what the statements came out as. But somebody in the company ended up getting a transgender influencer, to market the Bud Light brand, and which is really stupid because you're one of the most patriotic brands. And when I think of Bud Light, I think of the country kids in high school. That's what they would drink. That's when I think of country, when I think of back roads, when I think of firearms, when just 4th of July, you think or sporting events, you think of Bud Light. You just do. And I know for me, even not being an alcohol drinker, Super Bowl, one of the best commercials to look forward to was not maybe a Bud Light commercial per se, but it was the Budweiser, the Clydesdale horses that they had, because they were always a wholesome commercial to watch during the Super Bowl. And when they did this, they lost, I'm pretty sure it was like $6 billion almost overnight. Actually, I think it was within a couple hours. I believe it was from 10 a.m. to noon. They lost $6 billion worth of stock amount. That's crazy. But, so, here's the deal. Cancel culture, I have a huge problem with it because we do live in America. You should be able to say what you want, do whatever you want without the fear of being completely removed from the digital face of the earth. And you're not wrong for wanting to cancel people, wanting to cancel businesses that don't go with what this nation was built on. You're not wrong for it. But here's the deal. We do run into some issues when we cancel businesses. And one of the biggest ones is when you have a business that loses that much value in just a couple of hours, it really starts to take an effect on the economy. Yeah, one or two businesses, maybe not. But if it starts happening more and more, it's not a good cycle to start. And it's not a good precedent to set. And so the economy will really take a hit if this keeps happening to more and more businesses, which probably will. Because that pendulum I was talking about, how it swung way to the left over the last 2 years, is starting to swing hard back to the right. And it's just, I wish there was something simple. Well, there is something simple. We take America back to what it was before all this crap started happening. But that's a topic for another day. But yeah, so the economy really starts to take a hit. But when businesses, think about it, Target is probably top 3 of grocery businesses, probably in the world. So you think about all the jobs that are affected by that. So when that starts to happen, all those people that a lot of them probably don't go along with the stuff that Target is trying to push out. A lot of these people don't support it, but because that is their source of income, that is what they've had to become reliant on, and it could put them out of a job super fast. Same thing with Bud Light. There's a lot of people that could end up losing their job over this, and they don't even support it. And so that is the problem with cancel culture. A, we live in a free country. You should have freedom of speech. B, the problem is it could really hurt the economy and really hurt a lot of good, hardworking Americans. Hey guys, just wanted to jump in for just a minute. I hope you're enjoying this first episode of The More You Know. I hope you're getting a lot of information, a lot of value from it. If you are, I ask that you please like, subscribe, and share this episode and the whole podcast in general. And I'm just really trying to get my digital presence off the ground. So if you please like, share, subscribe, and go and follow my social medias while you're at it too. That would be so great. That's all I ask of you, just because I don't want you to have to pay for any of this. I want to give this to you for free. So I ask that you would just do those things for me. And then let me know what you think of the More You Know episode down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of cancel culture. But thank you guys for your support. Now let's get back to the video. Now you're probably like, what is the real solution to it then? Because I'm not for any of this. Trust me, I'm not saying that. I would love to wipe some of these companies off the face of the earth, because they're not good. They intentionally manipulate minds. They intentionally manipulate children, the economy, all of that. It would just be great if a lot of them were not here. But here's the deal. There's a lot of good people that would be affected by it. So here's what we need to do. First, if you work for one of these companies, I am telling you, get out. I know it's not easy to leave a job, especially a stable one, which is looking more and more unstable, I might add. But go and find a job that is a place that supports your beliefs, your core values. Because these companies that are pushing this stuff out, they don't care about your core values. They don't care. They're pushing an agenda because that is the only way some of them can get funding. And so if you're employed by one of these companies, get out and go find a job of a patriotic company that is going to support your beliefs one way or another. Because if they are a true patriotic company, they will support your core values and your beliefs no matter what. So then the rest of us as consumers, what we need to do, we need to boycott, but replace. So maybe don't go to Target. Maybe don't buy Bud Light. But you need to replace those two companies with some other company that is patriotic, that will support core values, that is supporting the nation and not supporting big government. Whether that be another brand that is super patriotic, maybe it's the neighborhood store right down the street from you that is probably struggling to stay open, because that's what the government wants. They don't want small businesses to do well because they are less controllable. If you don't have a local business that you can replace it with, find a business in the United States that is selling American-made products, that is patriotic, that you can support. The third thing that we can do is, if you have the entrepreneurial itch at all, this is the perfect time to get in. Perfect. I mean, you've got these giant companies that are literally removing themselves from the market space. So it's leaving this huge market gap. Now, granted, creating the next Target or the next Bud Light, very daunting task. But you don't have to be the next Target. You don't have to be the next Bud Light. You just have to take a fraction of what market share they had, and you do very, very well. So, if you have the entrepreneurial itch at all, you might look into it. There's a lot of opportunity coming about. And if you do get into it, let me know. I'll support you. I might partner up with you on it. So, here's the deal. If we are going to truly make America great again, it is going to take a complete and total culture shift. And we are going to have to be super smart and super calculated about how we go about it. What I do know is that we are going to have to stand up for what we believe in, and stop letting these ideals that go against our morals get shoved down our throats. What is going on right now is not what our country was built on, and we have got to put a stop to it. And it's going to take some tearing back down to get back to our roots, to get back to our foundation that this country was built on. But it is necessary. It is going to take all of us coming together, standing up, speaking up, and taking action if we want to see America the beautiful, once again. The American dream is still alive and well. I fully believe that. But it is slowly and starting to speed up. It's slowly making a descent. I know right now some of you think I'm crazy, think I'm a conspiracy theorist. But if you would take just a second, step back from your social media, get off your phone, quit watching TV, quit playing mindless games on consoles, on your phone, all of it. If you take a step back and really look at what is going on in the nation and in the world, it's easy to see that something is not right, and that something needs to be done about it. It's a very tough road ahead, but unless we want to become slaves to communism, we need to wake up. We need to take action. You need to take action by doing things like this, like a podcast, speaking up, taking action in your community, standing up for what you believe in. Quit getting railroaded just because you're worried about being called a bigot, being called homophobic, transphobic, whatever. Quit being afraid. Because I guarantee you, the men and the women that have laid down their lives for this country didn't lay down their lives so that you would just sit on your couch, be scared, and do nothing about it. You gotta wake up. They want us lazy. They want us fat. They don't want us to think for ourselves. When are you going to wake up to it? Got to wake up. Wake up. Whether you are a Christian or not, this is not how God intended it. And I can tell you, I've been reading through the Old Testament about Babylon and how mad God got his very own people for doing the same exact crap that is going on right now. And if we don't fix it soon, we are in for some trouble. But we can do it. I mean, we can do it. It's easy. it's simple, not easy. But the whole thing is we have to take action. We can't just sit around and wait for other people to take action. Superman's not going to fly in here and save the day. I'm sorry, but kids, Marvel isn't real. The DC comics aren't real. No, it's not going to happen. You have to be your own Captain America. Yeah, it's going to take all of us standing up. It's not going to take just a small group of us raising our voices, speaking out, taking action. It's going to take every single one of us. That is all I have for you guys today on the very first episode of The More You Know on the JS Show. I hope you guys got a lot of great information. I hope it really opened your eyes, or at least started to. There's a lot of stuff coming your way. Yeah, I didn't think I would enjoy talking about this kind of stuff, but it really it gets me amped. So if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe, share it with your friends so they can also wake up and join the movement going on, and we can take back our country. But that is all I have. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one.